Stephen A. was on The View, and they decided to rip on Trump, as you'd expect, because that's all they do over there. And to my surprise, Stephen A. Smith was one of the most effective defenders of Donald Trump that I have ever seen. Take a look.
Only been in office for 6 weeks. Seems like 6 years, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And he's been going around with his cronies touting his so-called landslide and blowout win. But he won the popular vote by 1.5%, one of the smallest ever, and he won the general election by less than 50%. So what kind of mandate is this really?
Well, it is a mandate, and I'm going to explain why. And I don't mind the question, but let me be very clear. I'm no supporter of Trump. I'm a supporter of truth and the facts. And here's the facts. The man won every swing state. He increased in terms of his voter turnout in his favor from the standpoint of blacks, Latinos, and young voters. He increased his numbers in that regard from 2020. 89% of the counties shifted to the right. That's a mandate. We can sit up there and play around all we want to. In 2020, Trump didn't win the popular vote. He didn't win the electoral college vote. A matter of fact, the Republicans hadn't won the popular vote, if I remember correctly, since 2004. Yeah. But they did this year. So 20 years after they last won the popular vote, they won the popular vote. They won the electoral college vote. The man won every swing state. And on top of it, 89% of the counties shifted against. I don't understand how people can look at that and say, there's no mandate. There's a mandate.
What's a different definition of a mandate, I guess?
But the problem is that if you're the Democratic Party and you lost 49.8% to 48.3%, and you're looking at that 1.5% dip, that's an excuse for you to say, what we did really wasn't that bad.
Some people didn't
we should continue to do that. Don't continue to do that. Find a new strategy.
Stephen A. is right. The shift is what the mandate is. This is what people don't understand. Joy Behar is actually right about the fact that Republicans should not get too smug about having a popular vote win by 1.5%. Because as people have talked about, 1.5% historically is actually not that big. So she's right about that, and Republicans should never get smug. They should never get complacent, no matter how stupid Democrats are being, and believe me, they're being very stupid. But looking at the shift, to Stephen A.'s point, you know it was a mandate. You know it was. And you can hear Sunny Hostin, by the way, in the end there. She says, well, some people just didn't show up. Exactly. That is the whole point. Go back to my past videos. This is something I talked about a lot before the election. The thing that I harped on probably the most, my biggest election prediction was this. It was true for Joe Biden when he was running, and I think it was especially true for Kamala Harris, and I said it about both, which is that turnout for either of them would be historically low. And if you know anything about elections, it's not so much about persuading people. It's more about turnout. And what turnout is a symptom of is the inspiration that someone feels or the enthusiasm that they have. And no one was inspired by the enthusiasm. They were not enthused about Kamala Harris or Democrats. It doesn't necessarily mean they love Trump. This is, I think, the important part about the mandate, and I think this is what Republicans need to understand. Getting 1.5% higher in a popular vote it means Donald Trump can safely do his policy and the things that he campaigned on. I'm not saying he shouldn't do that. That's a good thing. But what it really means, the shift, is that Republicans were more excited to go out than Democrats were. And again, you can see the excitement today. I don't think it's changed because of Donald Trump's very high approval rating, especially among Gen Zers. And the mandate, again, is that Trump is getting people excited in a way that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden never did. And that is a true mandate, when people actually get excited about the direction of your country, as opposed to Joe Biden, that literally just looking at what he would do on a given week would depress you. And it didn't matter if you're a Republican. It mattered. Frankly, you look at it, and if a Republican is getting depressed by a Democrat, that's to be expected. But when Democrats are not showing up to vote for Democrats, that shows a real shift. And when you see Democrats more excited about Republicans, that right there is the mandate. This tax season, don't forget to file your taxes, because you can actually make a lot of money. I've partnered with a business that hates the IRS as much as you do, so they fight to get you every dollar back possible. Quick Tax America. Quick Tax America has already gotten its average tax returner $3,000 back from the IRS in terms of return from their withholdings or even tax credits that people didn't even know they had. And again, they do all their federal returns for only $69. It's a completely transparent price because it's their only price, no matter how complicated your taxes are. At Quick Tax America, they do all the work for you as well. No more spending 4 or 5 hours on some online service. With them, all you have to do is upload your files, answer a few basic questions, and schedule a 15-minute finish your return call with a tax professional, and they do all the rest. So go check them out at quicktaxamerica.com, or you can go to the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, go down below, like the video, subscribe to my channel, and watch another video.